Where does clutter come from? It doesn't just appear out of thin air. It comes from the source, us. Things end up in our home because we bring them in. We buy them, we accumulate, we hold on to. Then we try and organize it, and then we can't. Then it's overwhelming. Then we get upset and we accumulate more. Like the saying goes, when you're only treating the symptoms, the infection still persists. In fact, it might even spread further. When you have so many things running through your head, whether it's worries or obligations or things that you just got to get done, it's really hard to get a handle over your home and just a handle over everything that's happening around you, let alone keep your home clutter-free. You have really no idea what's coming in and out of the house. You might even buy things impulsively as a form of therapy. You have no idea what you have, so then you end up buying duplicates of things and you have extra. And then you just throw things into corners. You just have closets full of things that you might use, you don't use, things that you might have just in case. And your house just doesn't have any order. Your life doesn't have any order because everything in your mind, everything in your home does not reflect basically what you want to see in your life. You know, when you're overwhelmed, the vibe of your home just feels unsettled. And that can also feel like clutter when you just don't feel comfortable in your own home, and then just everything feels like it's everywhere, and then throw in kids in the mix and it can get just crazy. Your house can just feel like a war zone. I can definitely say that there have been so many times where our house has just been so chaotic, and because of the overwhelm that Carlene and I are facing or feeling or whatever, it feels cluttered, even though there's not a lot of stuff. And obviously you guys know, if you have kids or you know someone who has kids, we have 3. Our kids can make things feel crazy. They can make things feel, overwhelming. And we love our kids, but it's just the nature of having young kids. And so they like to throw things everywhere and they like to create chaos. And so if we're not very careful of what we have in our home, then obviously it just gets even worse. Managing what's going through our heads, managing what's going through our minds is so important, because if we don't, then it can kind of get out of hand. Our mental state just feels like chaos. And I feel like if you don't have a handle over your mental, what's going through your head, it's really hard to have a handle, not just what you have in your home, but also the decisions you make outside of that. So how you buy things, how you view things, the actions that you take, and those can lead to what comes into your home. So the actions that you take can lead to the things that you buy. The actions that you take can lead to the state of your relationships, the state of anything that's going on in your life. So when you're in the thick of it, it's really hard to know what to do in that moment. It's really hard to know, like, how do I get out of this state of mind? How do I get out of this overwhelm? And you probably tried a lot of things. Maybe it's meditation, maybe it's working out, doing something, and maybe some of those things work. But I know for me, though I do a lot of those things and a lot of those things help me, they don't always get to the root of why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. And the longer that I feel like that, the harder it is to kind of have any type of order in our home, but even in my life personally, because we all know, like, a home is made up of many different people. And so everyone has their own experiences, and those experiences create the vibe inside the house, create the state of the home, the state of the family. And so one person's off, then it's kind of hard to keep it all together. It wasn't until maybe a few years ago that I discovered this practice that has really helped me. It really helped me clear my head and helped me basically get a handle over the circumstances that I feel like are happening to me. Because a lot of times I'll see what's happening in my life and I'm just reacting. I'm reacting to what's happening around me, or reacting to my emotions. And my emotions a lot of times are not even reality. They are what I'm thinking in my mind and how I'm perceiving things, and it's not exactly what's actually happening. And so when I came across this, it really helps me just lay things out and allowed me to see it from a much higher view and choose whether or not I have those things going through my head. So this process, which most of you probably have heard of before, is a brain dump. The way I like to approach the brain dump is I'll sit down, maybe you want to have your coffee right before that, but I'll really sit down and I'll have a paper and I will write every single thing that comes to my head. So you have things going on inside of your head, obligations or things that you got to get done or want to do that are occupying space, causing little minor stresses that just accumulate and compile to the point that you're just overwhelmed. It could be something as simple as, I really need to take the garbage out of the car. And that's stressing you out, but you're like, it's not really a priority, but it's stressing you out. You're thinking about it and it's occupying space in your head. And then you end up getting irritable because you don't even know why, but it's because you have something going through your head that it's just kind of pending. And my wife always says, I hate pending things. And so anytime you can get rid of something pending, it's a win. So I will write every obligation, every task that I feel like needs to get done, everything that I want to accomplish. And you could set it out for, this brain dump can be for the week, but you can do it as often as you need to, as often as you need to get it out. And something that is huge is just writing out any emotion, anything that you're feeling, just let it just flow. Let it come out. So if you're saying, I gotta take out the trash, I gotta paint the baseboards, I feel overwhelmed, I gotta pay the credit cards, I gotta do this, I really wanna work out. Like, write down what's coming to your head so that you can just get whatever's going through your head out on a piece of paper. And what's beautiful about this, it almost allows you to just kind of remove yourself from the equation and just observe what's happening. Observe what's happening through that head of yours, because a lot of these thoughts, we don't always have control over them because they just come naturally. These are things that have been going on a loop for months, years, maybe even decades, and you don't even realize. So once you get everything out of your system, once you have everything on paper, there's nothing left in your head that you can think of that you need to get done or that you're feeling or that you just need to do, then you can actually choose what's a priority. You can choose what needs to get done, what doesn't need to get done, what's just an emotion that I'm having that I don't really need to address. It's just something that I'm feeling. And once you do this, when you can kind of pull yourself out of that reactionary or even emotional state and look at things that need to get done, you can plan and prioritize more logically. You can look at, okay, I really want to paint the baseboards, but it doesn't need to be done right now. So maybe you plan to do that next week, but at least you have it outside of your head and you have a time frame. You know when it's going to get done. And so that automatically just takes off a lot of the stress and a lot of the anxiety around that specific task. And maybe you see something like, I need to renew my registration, like that needs to actually happen right now. So you can plan to do that either this week, today, but it's out of your head and it's no longer a pending thing. And when it comes to your emotions, you can just really just observe. You don't need to really address too much. Just allow those things to be there. But I like to do this and I like to see what's going through my head and see what's affecting the way that I'm perceiving my reality. Because the truth is, I'm okay right now. I'm alive, I'm healthy, my kids are safe, I have a home, I have a job, I'm okay. But whatever I'm thinking is making me feel like something is wrong. It's making me feel like things are not okay. And so allowing myself to see what I'm feeling on paper and just getting it all out and what's causing those thoughts and emotions is like you can breathe again. So that's a great feeling, a great piece of this beautiful process. Once you've identified all the things, you have it on a piece of paper and you know the things that you actually want to get done sooner rather than later. I like to use my calendar app on the phone. So I like to plan out the things that I need to get done, the things that I want to accomplish in that week, and I plan it on the calendar like time blocks. And so you'll see Monday at X time, I'm gonna do X thing. And at 3 o'clock, I'm gonna do this other thing. And it's helpful for me to see it on a piece of paper because I'm planning ahead and having it done in my head versus hoping I'll have some type of energy or inspiration or motivation to do something. I don't always have that readily available, and that's just the honest truth. And I've had these waves of ambition and drive and energy through different seasons. It changes all the time, and it changes based on what's happening in your life. But if you can spend time every week or so and plan out the things that you want to do and do it ahead of time. Plan out the things that you want to do with the logical part of your brain without the emotion or drive or excitement. Just like, hey, this is something that I'm going to get done. This is what I'm planning to do. It's so helpful to just get on a more natural routine and not rely on willpower, because willpower is tough, man. It comes and goes, and some people can manifest it a lot quicker than others. And sometimes, you're in a season of life where it just doesn't come as naturally, and that's okay. As long as you can say, okay, I'm gonna spend some time and prioritize these things and put these things on my calendar and say, this is important to me, regardless of willpower, regardless of what's happening around me. you can ensure and promise yourself that it's going to get done. Now, if you're more of a pen and paper type of person like my wife is, she does not like using her phone or her app or anything like that. You can get a planner and do it day by day. Just brain dump everything and then put it on your weekly planner and put out like what you're gonna do at whatever time, and just have your planner close by throughout the day. You don't always need to have it on you, because a lot of times when you plan these things out, you can almost visualize your day and you know what needs to get done. Or you can start your day off with drinking some coffee and seeing the day that you planned out ahead of time and just knowing what needs to get done at what time and how you've laid it out for yourself. The thing about this process is, in the beginning you might feel a little overwhelmed because it's your first time doing it, but I cannot tell you how transformational this has been to my life, because it has allowed me to have a routine of getting things out of my system. And I just need to get things out sometimes. I just need to lay it out on paper, because my brain, my mind, everything that's happening around me just kind of makes me feel like you feel claustrophobic because you have so many things happening. It's not as easy as when, you're a kid and you're like, hey, I want to go do this one thing, and then you just go do that one thing and that's it. You have, as you get older and, you get a little bit more mature and you have more responsibilities, this type of stuff happens and you have more things to manage. So to be able to have a time, a place that you can look forward to just get everything out, then that's a good thing. And you can do this as often as you want. I've even caught myself, I'll do my big brain dump of everything that needs to get done and all this stuff in the beginning of the week, and then maybe I'll have another couple times throughout the week where I just get a brain dump of things that are going through my head, not necessarily things that I actually got to get done. And it helps me just kind of see what is going through my head, what is causing me to feel the way that I'm feeling throughout the day. Sometimes I'll be feeling really motivated and feeling really excited, and I just want to know, what am I thinking? What is creating this great feeling, this excitement and drive? When I can see all those things that are going through my head, it allows me to see, how can I create basically the reality that I want? How can I create the feelings that I actually want to feel throughout life? And what's so awesome about having a clutter-free mind is it makes it so much easier to have a clutter-free home. It's just the truth of it. Because if you brain dump and you put on paper when you're gonna do something or when things are gonna get done, even around the house, you can have a little bit more of a routine. You can feel more assurance that, hey, this closet is going to be decluttered on Wednesday at 3 and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Or you have a routine of how you want your day to go when it comes to managing your home, and it makes it so much easier. It makes your home so much more manageable. And we all want easy, right? We don't want to have to work hard. No one wants to have to declutter hard all the time. That's not how it should be, and that's not how we want it to be. We want to be able to just do this in a lot of ways on autopilot. We want it to be something that we can easily work into our routine. And if you have that clutter-free brain, if you have everything off of your mind, it makes it so much easier to have that same vibe in your home. Regardless if you're single, regardless if you have multiple kids, it's possible. And our family is living proof that it is possible. And I really hope that you could spend some time decluttering your mind so that you can finally declutter your home, because if you can get a handle over what's going on through your head, you will be less likely to impulse buy things. You won't feel so overwhelmed, and you'll have a better inventory of what's happening in your life, in your home, and everything around you. So declutter your mind, see what's going on in that head of yours, and we'll see you next time. Love you guys. Bye.